I love making you wait.
I do. I know you do.
It's my favorite thing.
I know you do.
I told you Ryan Tannehill sucked. And I don't think you disagreed. But this is for everybody who did disagree. I got a buddy at work who's a Titans fan, Justin. I don't know if he watches yet, but maybe one day I'll get him to watch. He's not a Bills fan at all. He's just a Chargers fan. Or just a Titans fan. And I told him, I said, bro, I do not see a good outlook for you at all while Tannehill is the starter. And what did Tannehill do? 16 of 34, 198 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. It was bad. It was bad. Derrick Henry was held under 70 rushing yards, and the Titans went 2 of 12 on third down. Remember, I mentioned third down conversions were just really hard for teams to get this week. You saw the Chargers play the Dolphins in one of the more exciting games in week 1. What did you think?
About the Chargers-Dolphins game?
The Chargers in general.
Well, I mean, you said Tannehill is unimpressive. Herbert looked unimpressive with just 1 score and 228 yards passing as well. So,
yeah, but that's a lot more than Tannehill, and take away all the turnovers because the Chargers.
Not really a lot. That's 30. That's only 30 yards, and yeah, he didn't have any turnovers.
But my thing with the Chargers, Mike, was the defense, man, because they have names. They have Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Derwin James. All these guys that are supposed to be the cream of the crop, man. Randy Savage. They allowed 36 points against the Miami Dolphins last week. Now, I'm not saying that nobody else will allow those points against Miami because Miami's strong, and we'll talk about them in a little bit.
I was just going to say, you talked about him being the real deal the other day, so...
Don't ruin my bit. I just think the Chargers, of all the teams that lost in week 1, they looked the best. There's no putting it differently. So, fully loaded, give me Herbo and the Chargers this week.
Okay. Well,
I agree.
no, I'm going to take the Titans.
No, you're not.
Just to piss you off, I'm going to take the Titans.
Hey, you can take the Titans. You can lose. I'm fine with it. Why?
I don't know. Maybe Tannehill has one of his good games. One of his so-called good games.
Only reason...
Just to go against you, because I like Herbert a lot better. I think even though week 1 he looked not so impressive, I think he's a top 10 quarterback, or at least just outside the top 10. He's up there.
Looking unimpressive and looking bad are two different things,
right?
You know?
He didn't look bad, so he's up there. I want to honestly take the Chargers over the Titans, even though I like the. Actually, it's probably a tie with the. I was going to say even though I like the Titans jerseys better, but it's probably a tie.
The throwbacks, yeah.
It's probably a tie.
So you're taking the Titans?
No, I was just bullshitting you. Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers, man. I can't go against Herbert. I like him. He's a top tier quarterback, and I think just like you, that Tannehill is trash. I don't like him. I don't think he's that good.
I don't think so either.
I
don't think a lot of people know that.
I was never a Tannehill fan since he was with the Dolphins, so I'm not one now.
Of course. We don't like Dolphins players over here. Next up, a divisional matchup, NFC West. One I skipped over, Mike.
Yes.
49ers and Rams.
Mm-hmm.
This was the easiest game for me to predict. I'll be honest with you. Brock Purdy last week, 19 of 29, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Do you know the Patrick Peterson story from last week?
Probably not.
Patrick Peterson, cornerback for the Steelers.
Right.
Before the game happened, a couple days before the game, he goes, the 49ers, this was like a quote, 49ers have tails, and I'll tell you all about it after I get my pick on Sunday. He allowed both touchdowns.
Yep.
And one of them, he got his ankles broke, and I thought it was hilarious.
That's what happens when you put bulletin board material up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you keep your mouth shut, you do your job.
Especially as a vet.
Yeah,
it's a young man's game.
What's the kid who stomped on logos? He learned his lesson eventually. One of the I can't remember what team or what player it was, but he was stomping on middle field logos. And
Juju.
Yeah. Yeah, he got
rocked.
He
Yeah.
got rocked one
Same
game. So.
same to was it Owens that did the thing at midfield and got rocked by one of the Cowboys players?
Same thing, man. You don't put up bulletin board material, and that's exactly what happens to you when you do.
The Niners defense, again, top tier, man. One of the best in the league. They only allowed 7 points from Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's Pittsburgh, but we expected Pittsburgh to do better.
Pittsburgh's defense has always been stout, and you never expect that to happen to them, to get blown out like that.
They did. And then McCaffrey and Ayuk both go over 100 yards on the day, and they punted only 3 times. You know, I thought that was a notable thing because we all still talk about that Bills-Patriots playoff game where the Bills had a nearly perfect game, scoring on basically every drive and not punting at all. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting that they punted only 3 times. The Rams won, though. We talked about this a little bit earlier with the Seahawks. Rookie wide receiver Puka Nacua, which of course rhymes and is beautiful. 10 receptions, 119 yards. That's good. They need their rookies to get going.
Yeah.
And then I was just unimpressed by Stafford. You know, he's always thrown for a lot of yards. 334 this week, but the QBR was not great, and he didn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah, well, Mr. Unrelatable, so...
They won the game, so I guess it really doesn't matter.
Right, and as you say, a win is a win, but I'm going to take over this one, and I'm gonna tell you that I am picking the Niners for sure in this game. I don't see...
All right, this is where things get shaken up here. But before I say that, the Rams did have a time of possession last week against the Seattle Seahawks of 39 minutes and 23 seconds, compared to like 23 on the other end. So it was pretty crazy how long they were able to hold the ball. I'm going the 49ers. You already knew it, but this was the easiest prediction for me in week 2. I don't care it's divisional. I really don't. I think, divisional, you know, anything can happen. But if I'm predicting games for a prestigious prize, I need to pick smartly.
Not when you got a Niners defense out there. Absolutely no way in hell.
Not to mention the Niners offense. They might be the
offense.
They might be the most complete team in the league.
I agree. They are gonna be top dog in the NFC.
I already see the NFC Championship. It's Eagles and Niners.
Definitely. I could even predict them a Super Bowl appearance this year, possibly.
I wouldn't be too surprised, but they need to stay healthy.
I'm not going to go there, but I'm going to say I wouldn't be surprised.
They do need to stay healthy. Moving on into your favorite team from the NFC East, the New York Giants, and a team that you picked to win last week that ended up not winning, the Arizona Cardinals.
Gonna pick them wrong. Yeah, pick them wrong. You got some wrong too. Don't forget.
I don't remember. I went 16-0.
That's why the belt's still sitting there, right? Standing on your shoulder, champ.
I'll just go grab the other one. So the Giants got shut out by a score of 40-0.
Yes, they did.
And nothing was going right. From the time that field goal was blocked to the time that the best player on the field fumbles in Saquon Barkley, everything was not good. Daniel Jones barely went over 100 passing yards, 102 with 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that field was absolutely cursed this weekend.
There was like 50 Cowboys defenders compared to the 11 men on the Giants offense. It's what it must have felt like, I swear.
I do, and that was just it was such a crazy week, man. And I'm telling you, that field was cursed. The Aaron Rodgers thing, the ball gets completely embarrassed, and that's not him. Speaking
of embarrassing, let's talk about the Cardinals. Last week they lost to Washington. 20-16 was the final score. They looked better than I thought, honestly. I thought they were going to be way worse. Dobbs didn't do too bad for a guy who was just signed off another team's roster a couple weeks before. And I wrote down that the defense gave up 250 yards to Washington. Now, Washington to me is a good team.
Yeah.
But Terry McLaurin didn't even show up this week. He had 2 catches. So how did you give up 250 yards to Washington? You're just Arizona. That's the answer. I wrote that I don't care that they got smoked last week. I'm taking the Giants. I don't give a rat's behind. And then I wrote this for the boys. I don't know if I'll pick Arizona all year, but I'm going to sit and wait.
Okay. All right. And I sadly agree. We both picked them to be the number 1 pick overall in the draft.
The Cardinals.
Yes. Cardinals. So I'm also going to be sitting on the bench, cuddling next to you, rooting for.
All right. It was a good show, guys. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'll see you for the next one.
We're family.